and AI CLI. So I would like to know, so anybody already using AI CLIs in your project or personally you are using? Anybody else? Like, I just want to know how many person using that. So based on that, I can explain. Okay. Okay. So what tool you are using for AI CLI? Gemini CLI. Great. So it's giving 1,000 reports free per day. You are using free versions and it's providing fast request. It's providing like fast request. Nice. Okay, thanks. So I tried with Gemini CLI as well. I will explain that one beyond. So AI CLI, what is it? It's a command line interface. It's a tool that allows developer to interact with AI models directly from the terminal. So previously, before some years, before some days, what we do, so we will Google it, we will use Stack Overflow, we will have like multiple tabs in our Chrome. So we will check each and every website what content we need, and we match with that. We do match with our requirement, what solution we need. We will check for Stack Overflow. So nowadays, no one using that mostly, as you. So so after that, what happens? We got a ChatGPT, Gemini directly. So we have UI, we have different models on that, paid versions, different things we have. That so we can interact with ChatGPT. Like we can provide some input and it can respond for that. But now what we have AI CLI. So we no need to go with ChatGPT or Gemini separately. We can integrate that within our system, within our local. We just open our command prompt and just for example, we have AI. So instead of going directly and accessing, asking details about the SQL, asking details about our project, which is that don't have any access. So instead of that, we are integrating that kind of models in our local terminal. So the terminal can access our project, our database, our pipelines, everything it can access. Everything. So when it access those things, we can do more work, lot of works on that. So why we need to use that? So it will be more faster, and we do more automations with that. For example, with using PowerShell, I will explain that later with MCP, and it increase the productivity, like running that summary. Like if you have one Jira issue, we can directly even connect that using. There is one concept MCP. I will explain later. So using that, we can just using our terminal, we can connect our Jira and we can connect our GitHub. Everything we can connect within one terminal. We no need to go a different window as well. And last point, we can use multiple models, as you mentioned, Gemini. So that is one of the models. Even you can open multiple terminals, and you can one terminal Gemini, another terminal Claude. You can have different analyze. And you can say a lot of you maybe use Copilot, GitHub Copilot. May I know how many members using that GitHub Copilot? Nice, more count here. Okay, who is not using? No one. Okay. So GitHub Copilot, we have that one. So what is different? So okay, ChatGPT, it's separate window. We are going separately, and it don't have access for our project. But we have, you can ask why we have GitHub Copilot. It can access our project. Why we need to go with AI CLI? Because it has some limitations. So for example, GitHub Copilot we can use with our VS Code. So some kind of tools like that editor tool goes with use. You can only use with that, and it can. The main purpose is to handle some autocomplete or coding suggestion, some creating some template kind of code, and explaining the code that you write or the existing code, those things. So this is for with the current file that you are using and the project context, it will have access. And what you cannot do with GitHub Copilot, you cannot run multiple models to have a different analyze for large set of complex queries or a large set of analyze. You cannot use multiple models within at the same time. And as well as it cannot access different sources at the same time, like Jira tickets or other sources like SQL or some other database. You cannot access directly unless you provide manually. You have to provide some input on that. So with the AI CLI, what we can do, we can integrate MCP. So MCP is nothing. It's a model context protocol. It was created by one company, Anthropic. It's a AI-based company. And what is doing? So we have terminal, and using the terminal, it's a one intermediator to connect with our GitHub or Jira or even emails. You can connect even with databases. So those things you can integrate using the MCP. So even before MCP, we can have only this AI CLI, but you have to provide separate connections for the GitHub or separate whatever the third-party sources or whatever you are accessing. You have to provide, you have to generate the API key from that, and you have to integrate separately for manually one by one. But using MCP, you can have one common integration, and you can easily use that. Okay. So how I mostly use that with the AI CLI and MCP, and what we can more achieve on that. Uh, so once it was integrated fully, it was we can easily fetch the Jira ticket which is assigned to us. We can get the summary. We can check just we can just input our ID like. So what is the ID Jira ID? We can just input. We can provide input, and it will read the data and it will summarize it. So what is the Jira issue about it? Because sometimes Jira issue has lot of comments. Maybe someone has developed it. He will have a lot of comments on that and lot of description on that. So we cannot summarize in within a second. But this can do. So it can summarize with it will read all the comments, all the description that it has, and it will summarize with us. And using the summarize, we can use it with our local project. So we can compare that with our local project. So this is the Jira issue, this is the summary. So what we have to do with our project. So what we need to do next, what is the next steps? So those things we can analyze with that. And even we can provide prompt to integrate those things. So it will provide the steps. You can even comment that. So that, for example, it provided the steps. It has 20 steps. So we have to do one by one. So we cannot every time do first step, second step. When we close that, so it will be gone. We have to prompt again. Instead of that, even from the terminal itself, you can just comment that to Jira. For example, the 20 steps was provided. So you can just have to, hey Jira, like hey CLI, like just comment this 20 steps with my Jira ID. This is my Jira ID. You just comment have a comment, and later I will use that one by one. Then you can next day you can open the same thing. Just ask to Jira, ask to the CLI to read the 20 steps and start with the step one. It will be more convenient. And then we can create PowerShell commands that is more powerful. So we can create PowerShell commands using the CLI, and we can store the PowerShell files. So using that, we can like analyzing database, creating CD pipelines, even analyzing our large set of databases. So for performance optimize improvements, those things we can use. So as mentioned, CI/CD pipelines creations and updating the Jira regularly. Those things we can do in very fast. Okay. So these are the things I want to cover. So let let us discuss something. You can share a little bit about how you are using something. Maybe something I know, I don't know, something different that you are using AI tools with your projects. We will start with HR team. Said I'm introverted. Certified HR. Operation team. Operation team. Support team. Marketing team. Balaji.
I'm not using much, only for image generation and in Canva I'll ask Canva also having the prompt and I'll use AI in Canva for designing and few things only. I'm not more dependent on AI.
Okay.
In future I'll check this CLI and all.
Sure. No need future, just it's an online command you can integrate with your terminal. Even Gemini provides 1,000 requests per day. It is free. Or just you can share something in everyday life how you are using, what purposes. For example, I used ChatGPT to generate on itinerary. So instead of going with a agent for a trip for a Thailand, we saved 50,000 with just generated itinerary from ChatGPT. Something like that.
Have you used N8N?
No, you can share.
I keep on seeing so many people posting about N8N, that of asking you.
Okay. You want to talk?
Okay, I know that NA8 the tool. So the NA8 tool is like a good tool. Like you can call, just have a different already generated templates. You just want what you want and just connect with the APIs, keys and all. And after connecting that, you just run it. Everything you can customize and you can run it. For example, from a IT team related, we can when I tell you NA8. So like any spam mail is coming. So they what they are doing, they will check it, they will find out the IP addresses and the domains, and then they will send it to Virus Total. This is a tool that will provided for scanning tools, and they automatically search it through the websites and generate the proper reports like this IP or this domain is a vulnerable or phishing or not. So through NAT, this tool is you can like a something like a MCP. So you can create and you can run it from anywhere. So this is that.
Okay.
But it is not a free, it's for like a 15 days, 20 days of trial period. So after that, they will ask for money.
Okay, nice. I'll provide one more trick on there, one thing. So we have, Gemini providing free student subscription, which is worth of 20,000. I don't know, I can share that here or not. I can. So I generated a student ID card from ChatGPT and used that with Gemini, and I got this 20,000 free Gemini Pro. I'm using that. You can cut that in video. I will update that in Teams. WhatsApp. I will share the itinerary.
Yeah, so after I heard your topics, I just want to say one more thing here. Recently, we have implemented one thing with the things, whatever you have covered now, with the help of MCP and Playwright. So our concept, actually, Deepak and Ahmed only initiated the topic. Our concept is previously a testing team were testing the application manually and they will do all the things. After that, automation testing come up with the play. Then recently, what we have implemented is our thought is so as a testers, we will write all the cases in Excel file and whatever it may be, and we will generate this as a CSV. So that Excel file contains cases and expected results and what it should be the requirement as per the requirement. So by using Playwright and MCP, so what we will do is we will just upload our Excel sheet, CSV file, which we have done it, and we will give the just application URL, and we will give the prompt like how the application should work. And so this is my cases. You have to do all the steps, whatever in the cases. And if once the cases is runs, if the cases is expected, my expected results, then automatically it will meet our actual results, right? So if it comes, then test will pass, else test will fail. So it will reduce 90% of the manual efforts. So that is what we have done and we have completed it as well.
Hey, thank you, Vasant. The round of applause to Vasant.